Berger, as Chief Justice, issues a dress code banning pantsuits on women. And Time Magazine and Newsweek writes up the fact that for the first time a woman wore a pantsuit in the Supreme Court, blah, blah, blah.
Except for the usual aplomb. They never mentioned who did it.
Nor
they didn't tell you your name?
They didn't use your name?
No, nor did they bother to mention that that she winds up arguing this landmark 14th Amendment case, which she wins 9-0. Berger wrote the majority opinion with
what we were
let me see, he had 6 votes with him. There was a separate concurrence by Rehnquist and Powell.
On the first underlying case.
Yeah, and there was a separate concurrence by Douglas. It was 9-0. To strike down California's filing fee laws to run for public office as facially unconstitutional.
That was fun, and it was a great experience.
And Harvard Law Review wrote up that when the decision came down, they wrote it up as the landmark 14th Amendment case of the decade.
Did they use your name in the Harvard Law Review?
Yeah.
Yes, that did.
But did Time or Newsweek bother mentioning that? No, just the fact that someone
wore a damn pantsuit. So this is why we were talking about. It's a great. This was just one vignette, but there are like a lot of her love life.
Well, I was every place.
But also to put it in context. But to put it in context. Marge.
What? Still is.
Marge.
Oh my God.
Marge. To put it in context, though, tell the story about the miniskirt.
Oh,
you weren't.
I do have to tell you about the miniskirt. It was so funny.
At the Supreme Court?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
What happened was that one of the national, I graduated with John Conyers from Wayne State University, and a beautiful black woman attorney who just recently retired as a judge in Michigan. Claudia House Shropshire. Yeah. She had Markham in there somewhere too. But anyway, so what happened was, I decided I wanted my parents to come in, and I wanted to be admitted to the bar. So,
who's to be admitted to the Supreme Court?
Supreme Court bar. And so the attorney who was moving my admission, one of the very well liked people up in Washington, and so he said, Marge, we have to get permission. And so he goes ahead and he says to the court, Ms. Buckley wants to wear a miniskirt. And so
that's all she had with her while she happened to be there.
Well, yeah, but
what kind of a miniskirt?
Oh, a beautiful white wool dress, and it was like a mid-thigh. Yeah, it was beautiful. Anyway, I lost it. But anyway, the thing is, what happened was, we go ahead, and the clerk says, yes, you can wear a miniskirt. So I go in, and as I get to the...
Well, first, I think they asked if you had good legs or not.
Well, no.
Because the Chief Justice then
was
Earl Warren.
Right.
He wanted to know whether she had good-looking legs.
What?
Yeah.
No,
are you serious?
Yeah.
The
U.S. Supreme Court Justice want to know if Marge here
had good legs.
Oh.
Yeah. What happened was that they said I could. The clerk said, the justices said I could wear a miniskirt if I had good-looking legs. So I go ahead. My aunt had taken my mother and father. They're all, I was the first one in our family to really do all these things, and so anyway, my aunt, as usual, she was always late, so she gets us there late, and I go running out. I say, I'll make sure that they save seats for you. So I go running in, and there's a big line, and so I run up to the door, and the marshal says to me, "Wait a moment, young lady, didn't you see that line?" I said, "Yes, but I am getting admitted, and I need," and he said, "Oh," and he says, "Oh, you're Buckley." I said, yeah, I'm Buckley.
I guess you passed the test.
Would you mind? I have my parents coming with my aunt, who's big in D.C. statehood, and would you please see that they get a good seat?
That's the statehood party.
And he says, okay. So anyway, so I go in and the place is just filled, and so there wasn't any place to sit. So I see a seat in the back, and so I go in and I start moving in. And the attorneys I was moving by said, wait a moment, the marshal wants you. And so I look and he said, so okay, that's the one that said, you're Buckley, right? He said, so I come, and the Supreme Court, you have to understand, has this huge mahogany bench that is so big that the judges can't even pass notes to each other. They have to have pages to do things. And so what they have is this one aisle going directly to the Chief Justice, and then there are all these seats, and then behind the bar is where the audience sits. So I'm moving over here, and they say, no, come here. So I come back, and he says, we have a special seat for you. Uh-oh. And I said, oh, what's this? Anyway, so here in this middle aisle, in the first row, they have placed a chair, and I look at it, and they said, that's so the judges can see your legs.
What?
And at that point, see, I have this evil mind, and I said, oh, well, the hell am I going to do with these people? So anyway, I sit down, and I adjust my mini skirt.
Up or down?
Well, it was obviously inching up, and so anyway, so I sit there, and it turned out we were number 9. I was number 9 to be admitted. They had all, and what it was a standard thing. Warren would be sitting. They're all sitting up there, and the attorney who is moving the admission has a little piece of paper, and he says, "I am Joe Dokes, member of the Supreme Court bar, and I know Bill Smith." Who is a member in good standing at his, and they were all male except for me and the group class. But anyway, so they go through this whole thing, and then the Warren would sit there and he'd nod and he'd say, "Oh, it's a pleasure to admit you to this bar, Mr. Smith." And then they do another one, and then and then we come up. We're number 9. So we come up. And I'm burning. I mean, this is not very, I mean, I got good looking legs, but so what? Anyhow, so finally we get to us. And we get up. And I forget his name right now, but a Gil member who I knew pretty well. But he says, this is, I moved the admission of Marguerite Buckley, and when he's through, Warren gets this big smile on his face. He hadn't smiled at all. He had just said, "It's a pleasure to welcome you." And when it gets to me, he gets this big smile on his face, and he's a very handsome man. And he says, "Ms. Buckley, it's really a pleasure to admit you to this bar." And by this time, I'm having a ball. And so I look at him and I say, "Well, thank you, Judgy." And then I turn and I wave at my...
Judgy? How old were you?
Rehnquist? That's hilarious.
No, that was Warren.
Oh, Warren.
Earl Warren.
And so then afterwards, I go downstairs to pick up my supplement, or my certificate. And there's my whole class, including John Conyers, whom I had done some studying with. And they look at me and they said, "Marge, how the hell do you do these things?" And I said, "Oh, I guess it's just good luck. Or perhaps good planning."
Good legs.